What up, guys? Jed and I are on the way to Bert's 4x4 and more with the Flatnasty in tow back there. Got her cleaned up a little bit, the best I could last night, but oh my god. Okay, Linda, stop talking for just a second. So anyways, head down there to fix that right rear leaking shock. I don't know if I told you guys or not, but it's leaking a little bit. We're gonna possibly revalve them, do some jumping, and put some bump stops on. So get set, guys, get ready. Oh my gosh. Push. Stop talking. Okay. Anyways, we're on our way there, about to go turnpike, be there in 2 hours. Hold tight. Well, guys, we made it out here to Rob's place. He has got mega trucks everywhere. There's one over there. There's one right there, obviously. He's got all kinds of stuff stuffed up there near the shop. So that's where the magic happens, apparently. So we're gonna get this thing unloaded. All right, guys, we got the flatty nosed in the shop here. Bert, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Officially.
How's it
So
going?
he's got our bump stop set out there, guys. They are basically a gas little miniature shock that keeps the big shocks, whenever these things fully compress, from completely bottoming out. It's basically like a little extra shock for jumping and stuff like that. So we're gonna get these fitted on the frame once we let all the air out of the shocks, and get them put on there so we can do some test jumps today and get this thing ready to rock. So while these guys are working on putting the bump stops in here, we've got some awesome products that have arrived here for the mega truck. First, start off with Monster Hooks Inc. out of San Jose, California. They got a little bit of moisture on it. It's nice and chilly, but it's a nice, huge forged steel hook for the back of the truck, and we got an even better product in this box. So hold on just a second, guys. Let's see how this thing looks in the back of the flatty. This thing's freaking huge. That's massive. Good thing we reinforced the hitch back here. Oh yeah. Dang, that looks so good. Dang. Not gonna have no problem pulling people out or pulling myself out when because I'm gonna get stuck. You guys know that, so that thing looks good. Now I gotta find a pin. I don't have any pins around here. Maybe they got one laying around. Up next in our box, well, I got an air filter for the truck because I already wasted the other new one, so we gotta change that out again. Speaking of that, Corey actually got a piece of aluminum built underneath the truck here that we've been working on to keep all the water from splashing up on the engine, the air filter, and the belt, and all that good stuff. So actually turned out really nice. He's got to finish doing a couple things, but you can see it's all welded out. It's gonna bolt solid to the bumper, and we're gonna got these tabs we've got to bolt to the frame and stuff like that. But he even got right around the orbital valve and all that good stuff, so that turned out really nice. But back over here to our box of goodies. Monster Hook set us up with some clevises for our front bumper, so we are gonna have to reinforce our front bumper if we ever want to be pulled from that, because it's, like you guys seen when we built it, it's not that stout. So we got clevises in here. Shout out to those guys. And these things are forged also, rated to like some crazy amount, like 16,000 pounds. Pretty crazy. And then we've got a huge 76,000 pound rated toe strap here, 1.5 by, or 78,000 pounds, 1.5 by 30 foot. So that should get the job done. Let's get these clevises put on the front. So there they are, guys. These things turned out sick. I love like the gunmetal gray powder coat that's on them too. Definitely have to tighten the crap out of these, so I know someone's gonna have some greasy fingers and try to snatch these things off the flatty. So let's get this rope put back there and see how it looks. This thing is crazy long. You guys can go to monsterhook.com. Let's see their website. I'm pretty sure it's monsterhook.com. Monsterhooksinc.com. Go check them out. I'll put a link in the description below. This stuff's huge. Oh goodness. Boom. You guys don't understand like how big that is. Like, It's huge. This rope is just massive. And it's nice too. I like the green, even though it might not last that long, look that nice in the mud, but it'll look good for now. So there it is, guys, our monster hook, our freaking monster hooks, tow rope, everything. This stuff's just so freaking nice. I'm almost not excited to get it muddy, but I'm so excited to use it and try it out. The guys are in here freaking tearing it up, cutting some metal up, getting stuff ready. They already did a lot of grinding in here, getting the frame cleaned up so they can start tacking on it, welding on it, and stuff like that. So what we got going on now, guys, is he's got the bump stops with a bar running between them tacked together where they're going to be on top of the front axle. And we're just trying to get the truck adjusted to where it's nice and level before we put any tack welds anywhere. Okay guys, so we got the front all tacked in place, and he did some serious bracing. You can see the bump stop is right there, obviously. This is the casing that holds it in. We've got a brace to the back, to the front, to the top, and then we've got a dual bars running in between the two of them. And we've got to move the axle over just a little bit and get it centered, but man, Bert's doing a stellar job getting these things in. We're working on getting started on the rear now. Right. So guys, Rob just cut these pieces without even walking over here. And now look, do a couple little measurements and boom. Dang. Not too shabby. Once we got the truck picked up in the rear, as you can see, and we're screwing the bump stops out of the casings so that Rob can go ahead and weld out the mounts for the rear, and then we're gonna do the same thing to the front. And then I actually, whenever I put these shocks on, I didn't know that they're actually labeled no motor and motor, and I actually have the no motor shock up here in the front and the motor shock on the rear. So we're gonna swap these front to rear, and then the one over there that's leaking we're gonna repair also. So once he gets all these welded out, we're gonna get the shock situation handled and go there and try to hit a jump or two, see what it does. Yeah. That might help. Yeah. So we got the truck pulled in facing frontward now. I got the front shocks all aired up, and Rob's about to go to town welding all this front up. You guys didn't really get to see this much, but now it's in the air, you can see it. And he's already got the bump stops pulled out of it, and everything's tacked in place, and we're about to weld all of it up. And then right now we're gonna pull the rear shocks out of it because we gotta fix that one, and the other side's got to be swapped to the front. So got a couple things we gotta do here. Okay guys, so we got the shock right here that was leaking. We're about to tear it down. And can't diss a company over having a product that has issues. If you get 1 out of 100 shocks and that only one has an issue, then that's doing really well. So that's the oil you run in them right there?
Yep, AW32.
Cool. So we're about to pull this apart. It's leaking right here on this seal right here, guys. So I guess you're gonna dismantle it and we can see what all's inside it. It's exciting. So where are the valves at in this right here?
In here on the end of the shaft. So we'll pull that out on a level so we get to see all that.
So we're working with a nice clean bench here, guys. He's got all the valves, all the tools right here. The shocks. Very, very clean. Oh, dang. So that's how they get put together without getting all scratched up. This has me really intrigued. I've been dying to know like how these things hold pressure in them and just don't bust oil everywhere. Well, I know how that works. All silly hydraulic stuff, but
There's the piston.
Yep.
Got one right here. You got ports in it, top and bottom. You got shims on top. That's a rebound shim, and then on the bottom there's more shims down there, and that's what slows the fluid down. The fluid has to force through these holes and bend those shims to be able to do its job.
So now what keeps the piston pushed down?
So there's a piston in here. When the oil fills this tube, and then to a certain point in here, when the shock's fully compressed, that piston will go almost to the top. And when you put the air in there, it basically just pushes against that piston and displaces oil into there. And the shaft displaces oil, so it pushes the shaft out per nitrogen pressure, okay. And that's what holds it up. Just the nitrogen pressure in here is what holds the truck up.
So that's why I've been trying to figure out what displaces the oil, because obviously this doesn't really do anything.
No, other than the valving, that's all that does.
So the shaft's the whole, okay.
And then once we get into that accumulator, I'll show you the puck I'm talking about.
I'm only used to being into like hydraulic cylinders, like steering cylinders, stuff like that, which y'all just kind of dumb down there. So right here is the sealing surface that we're having issues with, and maybe it's just a pinched O-ring.
Yep.
Nick in it?
Little nick spot in it, yep.
Oh yeah?
Right there.
Huh. Yeah, it happens. Well, folks, we've got the front shocks aired up, and they're pretty much set where you want them.
Yep.
Now, how much air do you think's in them? Like 600, 700 pounds?
About 600 psi in them at 8 inches.
Okay.
8 inches of shaft out.
And now we're putting air or nitrogen. Can't say air, people will correct us. We're putting nitrogen in the bump stops on the front. These things will almost be touching.
They'll be close to be about 2 inches between them.
Cool. And here we go. We're gonna air these babies down. How much air do you put in those?
50 psi, 50 to 75.
I guess if you set that at 0, it might be like halfway right. We broke the gauge earlier, so. Hey, uh-oh. Maybe it'll be close. So what bump stops do is you'll see these things air down out of the canisters, and they basically make contact on the axle before the shock bottoms out right here. So that's the whole goal with these. Something's happening. Oh, there's one. Oop. There they are. That's it. That's all there is to it, guys. Pretty simple. Are these aluminum ends like replaceable?
Yes.
Okay, that's cool. Now we're ready to mud womp. These close off the same way as the shocks do up top?
No, it's got a Schrader valve inside of it. Yep. Okay.
Well, guys, we got the truck all aired up. We've got the bump stops front and rear completely full of air, and they're doing their jobs. We've got the sway bar links put back on, readjusted. We had to adjust them a little bit because the truck was kind of sitting on an angle for a little while, and I think I might tweak them a little bit, but we'll know more in the coming days. So everything's hooked up, tightened back down. Bump stops are all installed. Rob did a stellar job getting them all welded out. You guys know me, I'm not too worried about painting stuff, so we're gonna leave that alone. Put a new air filter on it. You guys mentioned the last couple of videos, and I actually mentioned that we were gonna be building an aluminum cover to go under here, and it's under here. Corey got it put under here, and it's kind of just chilling. Hopefully it'll last through a couple jumps, but there it is so far, and it goes all the way under there, so that turned out great. So we're gonna get the hood closed and go hit a jump this thing and see what it does. Tires are all full of air, and there you have it, guys, the Flatnasty jumps. Let's see old whistling diesel jump his truck. Yeah, baby. I know it wasn't high, but it's a jump. And our freaking DS18 speakers hung in there. They didn't go anywhere. Shout out to Rob for getting all their bump stops put on. They're doing their job now. Oh, I'm so stoked, guys. Everything's working great. Got an oil leak now and a coolant leak, so we gotta figure that out. But we're gonna work on getting this thing loaded up and get ready to head home. And Yeah, let's get this thing loaded up. Uh-oh, look what's pulling in the gate. You guys know it. If you watch Instagram, you know what it is. So I don't know the info on this truck, but my buddy is one of his friends, and they let him use it to come pick it up for you. There's our new drop deck equipment trailer for the Flatty and whatever other toys we come up with. I'll do a more in-depth video on it in the next couple days, guys, so be paying attention. It's a 2006 Kaufman. So friggin' excited.